Hey guys, WalterFootball.com after the dark show for June 13, 2025. We're going to talk about some random stuff tonight. The whole parlay business on DraftKings. We'll get our opinions on that and a lot of other stuff. Maybe some random bets that we're doing. Before we get into everything, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something from the merch store. It is our light blue Walter Football t-shirt. For those of you hoping that I was wearing the navy blue t-shirt for the third day in a row, I apologize. Couldn't make it happen. Had to take a shower today, so that did not come to fruition. But you can get that as well as anything else at the merch store. And if you're looking like, where is this cool light blue Walter Football t-shirt? I want to wear it to like fancy parties and stuff. I don't see it. You can go to any shirt. You can change the colors. You can even select the hoodie. I think long sleeve t-shirt. There's tank tops for women and stuff. So lots of choices on here. And for those of you who didn't tune in the past two episodes, we have two new t-shirts to debut. The first one is 100% USDA Man. This is a play on Matt Millen's thing where he, for some reason, he calls people 100% USDA Man. And there's the whole kielbasa business with Matt Millen. So you can see two kielbasas here. That's, if those of you who don't know, during one of the NFL drafts, I think it was like the 2009 NFL draft, Ron Jaworski was on with Matt Millen. They did one of those side-by-side panels, and Millen was like, "Oh, Jaws, you're Polish. You got to love those kielbasas, huh?" And like he just like went on it, and then he had to actually apologize for it. So that explains that. Also, we have this is the funnier one, I think. Watson and Tucker massage parlors, get your happy ending today. And there's a picture of massage parlor. It's massage is misspelled on purpose. It's a seedy looking massage parlor. I think this is a cool one. And if you get the shirt, some people might be like, "Oh, what massage parlor is that? I really need a massage." You might get that interaction too. So that is a bonus there. Plus 50% off too. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks of the College Years, where I made fun of people. I saw Penn State for 6 years. I was there for 6 years, so as you can tell, I had a lot of writing material. It was a good time to write this. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers, the best way to support the show. Slew, John Sanders have been the best with the super chats, but we also have Degeneron, Can't Make an Eagle, The Boss, Armac, Karmic, and Evan Daniel. You guys have been so great with the contributions. Can't say that enough because YouTube ads don't pay us much at all. That's kind of an understatement. They don't pay us anything. It's like 50 cents an episode, maybe $1 sometimes if we're lucky. All right, we're joined by Quacky T making a rare appearance here on a Thursday night because Quacky is traveling on Saturday. But Quacky was great to join us here on Thursday. Quacky, what's going on?
Walter, here we are again. Hello to you and hello to everyone out there in the Walter football family. Remember when I first started doing the show a couple years ago, I used to come on Thursday nights. I used to come on the show Thursday nights, and now we moved to Saturday. So I'm flexible here. Welcome everybody. It's great to see you. Hey Walt, I was thinking, man, I got some stuff I was thinking about today. Hey, like, you know what? Like, I'm more of just like a lurker on Facebook. I've been on Facebook for it'll be 21 years. I joined on Halloween 2004. I remember when we were living next door to each other.
Yep.
But Facebook like is good for like reminding you of people's birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, I think it's like, well, that's cool. Someone I really don't talk to that much anyhow. Like, is that big of a deal to remember? But it is nice sometimes for like, you have like different relationships with people and different acquaintances and that sort of thing. But let me ask you this: have you ever unfriended somebody on their birthday?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever unfriended anyone.
Or on their birthday.
I don't think I've ever unfriended anyone. Period. I don't think I've ever done it. And I know of an interaction because my sister used to go out with this guy Brandon in college, and he's an okay guy, I guess, and I never had a problem with him. We got along. He wasn't like a friend though. And then she broke up with him, and then she, like, a few months later, she's like, "Well, why are you still friends with Brandon on Facebook?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. The thought never occurred to me to unfriend him." It just never like popped into my head.
Right.
So and even if it did, I probably just wouldn't have the energy to do it. So I don't know why. Like, it just feels like mental energy to unfriend people, or even to like block people. I think is even worse. That feels like a an emotional overreaction to like block people. I always joke that like whenever someone blocks someone, it's like someone acting like a 12-year-old girl, which a lot of people block me on Twitter X because I like to get under people's skin there, and it's a lot of fun. Like Mike Florio, for example, blocked me. Mike Florio is a perfect example. He has he's the mentality of a 12-year-old girl. So So anyway,
well, there are some exceptions though. I mean, like if it's a matter of safety, and maybe not on Twitter. But safety? I mean, like blocking like a phone number or something from like harassment. I've had to do that.
If someone posts your phone number,
I had to change my number once.
Okay, yeah, it's never happened to me.
Yeah.
I guess that.
Yeah, that I think that would be much more like Twitter is different, but like I've had to block people for sure.
Okay, I mean, look, if it's something like that, that makes sense. John saying I just mute people. I rarely mute people, but I will do it if it's the only time I'll do it is if they're spoiling stuff from the TV show. Like for example, there's this one account I follow. He's a betting guy, and he's pretty good. I don't want to mention his name, but and he follows me on Twitter. What the hell? I mentioned it. Nick Costos from CBS. I don't care. He seems like a cool dude. Like I follow him. He puts out good content. He follows me back. I'd love to get him on the show one time, but he works for CBS, so I don't think that's possible. But he when we're watching Game of Thrones, like he was tweeting his stuff out live, like as the show was going, and I was like a half hour behind because I was putting my kids to bed. I hadn't started the show yet, and I was on Twitter just waiting for my wife to get ready. And I went on Twitter and like he's posting stuff like during the show. I'm like, come on, man. So I had to mute him. And I found out that like from that point on, like 2 years later, I realized I still had muted him. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, I've been seeing his tweets in a long time. I muted him for so long. But yeah, that's like the one exception is if like people are posting spoilers.
Sure. I had when I was streaming, I had to block a few people. I had a couple people, and look, I'm not going to mention any, it doesn't matter.
You can mention names. I did.
No, but like I won't. But it's just like I don't know. It just got weird, and it's like this doesn't feel right. Like I don't know. Like, have you ever had someone? It's like, and I think it's just like people, like they enjoyed my stream and like they feel like they're like I'm like their buddy, and like maybe they have a hard time making friends, but like that's one. You know what I mean? And or like I've had like girls get like pretty weird a couple times. Like I had to block them for sure. Like followers, like people that would watch my stream, and it's like, so I definitely had to do that.
I'm interested in this girls get weird business. Why is that a bad thing? It seems like a good thing. I don't know.
No, like, wow. I guess we can open this up. So, like this. And it doesn't matter because like I'm not trying to trash this person. Like I wish this person the best, and like I'm not going to say the person's name, but like I had like when I was streaming, I had girls DMing me, and they tell me they would like want to get to know me and stuff. So like she said that to me. I was like, like she was paying me like some really nice compliments, and I was like, wow, I was very flattered. So she was like, would you want to like talk? I was like, yeah, sure. Like I'll talk to anybody. And I mean, can you tell? Like, I love to talk, And then, like, we never, her and I, like, we never even at this point. This is like within 48 hours. Like, we haven't even spoken on the phone. Like, this is since she was like, oh, like, would you want to like talk more often or something? Like, so And like I did a stream, and then like I got off the stream and I looked at my phone, and she sent me this message like, I don't like. She's like, I'm done with this. She's like, I don't like girls like flirting with you on your stream. Like if you think it's gonna be, and I was like, I've never even heard your voice. Like you're a picture on a screen. Like that's really strange. Like, and I wasn't like any different than just my like regular like talkative like outgoing self, and it's like. I thought that was really weird, and like as a social experiment, like I let it play out for a couple more days, and it was pretty strange. And I was like, I think it's probably best to block this person, and it's not like I don't have any like ill wishes towards that individual. It's not why I'm like bringing that up, but like I'm just saying like it does happen. It does happen.
I've had some stalkers before. Like this one girl at the swim club. This is a long time ago. I think it was like 18. I was like 18 or 19 or something. Like she was not bad looking, but she looked a little crazy. And like she called me. One time, like I was at the movies with my friends, and I left the movies, and like I had like 50 missed calls. It was like not 50. It's like probably 38 missed calls or something. Like it was just obscenely odd number, just all from her. And I'm like, I wasn't even dating her. I didn't even go on a date with her, and she was just calling me. And I kind of what I did was I kind of like foisted her on my friend. I'm like, hey, this girl's crazy, but she's not bad looking. And my friend is like, oh man, like let me get on that. So I was like, I messaged her. I'm like, no, my friend thinks you're really hot, and so she turned to him and she started calling him like 50 times. So that's how I got into that one. Wow. Yeah, but no, I mean, I told the story before where a reader of my site, she emailed me one day, and then like that night she emailed me again, and she was hammered from like New Year's Eve, and she sent me a drunken email with like all like misspelled words. And I thought it was funny because that's what I used to do at Penn State, like pre-gaming. I thought that was that was the funnest time, like pre-gaming in your dorm.
Your away messages, yeah.
Yeah, it was. You knew I was having a good time based on my away messages if they were how misspelled they were. And then like that, like when I was pre-gaming, because like, when you're a poor college kid, you have to like drink. You can't just keep buying drinks at the bar. You have to drink before you go out. And so like if I was pre-gaming alone, I would just have like a couple of glasses of some liquor, and I'd be on aim, just like IMing people, and that was like the funnest time. Walt passed the stalker to strike. Yeah, look, it worked. It worked, and he liked it at first, but then he didn't.
Yeah. Well, but look, let me. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I don't know. So anyway, like that was the fun time. So anyway, like I appreciated that because she did the same thing. And I mean, look, we started dating. We went out for 8 or 9 months, and I actually thought I was gonna marry her, and it did not work out. So her dad didn't like the idea of. Her dad was a little nuts. Let's just say that. I told the story in my first book, The Safety and a Field Goal. But that was like a situation where I met someone who read my content, and she's the first girl I ever fell in love with. So. That worked out like temporarily, and there wasn't like any bad blood at the end, So not that I haven't talked to her in a long time, but but I mean that worked out, so it can. I see how it can go sideways though, because like some people are crazy.
For sure, isn't it so funny how like these happenstance things like in life end up like leading to, like. To like spin it in a different direction, like you're. Did I ever tell you? Remember when I used to like do work out in Vegas?
Yeah, we used to. My wife and I used to.
Yeah. That's right. We met out there in 2016 and 2017.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I got that job? I was driving Uber and I picked up the vice president of the company.
Wow.
Like, isn't it weird to think about like all the things that would have to like, and like it was like a 7-minute ride, and he offered me a job in a car. In the car.
Wait, what did you say to him in these?
I was like, wait, are you being serious?
No. I mean, like how did it come to him offering you a job? Like,
well, I just get to talking to people, and I was about to transfer to UCF and I finished with a degree in business, but I was going to try accounting first, which I'm glad I didn't do. I wasn't smart enough to do it anyway, but that's besides the point. But I had just told him, I was like, yeah, like I'm about to move to Orlando, and like I'm going to UCF for accounting. He's like, oh, like our accountant like needs an assistant. He's like, you want the job? I was like, what? Wait, what? He's like, no. He's like, you're really like well spoken for. He's like, you have like a good head on your shoulders. So boy, I got him fooled, huh? No, but it was cool. And then I had so many awesome experiences from that job. I got to meet some celebrities. And did I ever tell you about the time I met Selena Gomez?
No.
This is one of my favorite stories to tell. So like before, like, so I met her. This was May 2016, and before that date, like, I mean, her music and like it's just I could take her to leave it. I wouldn't necessarily tune into it, but it's fine for what it is.
I could not name a single Selena Gomez song, by the way.
Yeah. So
you're like, here's $1 million. Name one Selena Gomez song. Like, I have no idea.
Well, I only know like a couple of them, but
Yeah.
anyhow,
okay.
like
go on.
So anyhow, like we, the company I worked for did security for concerts and events and conventions and stuff. And I probably like I worked in the office, but like on a couple like occasions they needed me to stand at like a security detail. So I did dressing room security for me. This is a true story. I did dressing room security for DNCE and Selena Gomez. And I didn't realize like it was the first time I ever stood a security post. Like I didn't really know what I was doing. Like I know I had to look for like the badges or whatever, but like I would like worked in the office. Like, but I just remember like it was in the Mandalay Bay, and I was like standing outside their dressing room, and they hadn't arrived yet. And all of a sudden, Selena Gomez turns the corner and is like walking towards me. Dude, it was like the entire room lit up. Really? I've never experienced anything like that. Like the whole room lit up, and I was like, oh my God, like she had like this glow about her, and like she like walked up and she was like, hi, I'm Selena. She shook my hand and I was like, hi, I'm Tom. Like, I'm working. I can't like fangirl,
Right.
But like just big smile and like just so genuine. Like I and like since then, like I don't really follow her, like again, like her music, but like I root for her. Like I've never experienced anything like that. Just like when she turned that, it was like, just feel like this.
Wow.
It was so cool. So I'm a big fan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
she was
no wonder you know her music.
Yeah. And then there's, but then there's, like, cause I met like I did like front of stage security for Korn and Rob Zombie once. That was an interesting show, man. I was never like a huge fan. Like everyone loves Dragula by Rob Zombie. That's a good song, but like I really didn't know any of his other songs. I still kind of don't. But Korn, I knew some of the Korn songs. It wasn't my favorite genre, but like like Freak on a Leash. That's a great song.
Yeah,
that's a really great song, and it was just cool. Like, again, I wouldn't necessarily tune into it by any stretch of the imagination now, but like when I was there, like out in front of the and like people are like, we had to like pull people over like the rafters or whatever, they're crowd surfing because we were security for the stage. But like just standing there, like hearing like Freak on a, like it freaking rocked, man. It was awesome. It freaking rocked. Or like, you know what? I did remember Rammstein? Remember that song? Du hast.
Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't thought of that song in a long time, and we did a Rammstein concert, and when that first that song, and I like it blew me away, man. Like I was right in front of the stage. It was pretty freaking cool. Again, like not like a song I would really like, like tune into necessarily, but it was so cool to witness live. And Rob Zombie, you know what he did? It was so weird. Like he walked on the railing, like that separated the crowd from like the stage. And like, we like walked around him and like had to like, so he did a good job. Like it wasn't even close, like to falling. And he like walked around the crowd and he just had like a ring of security like around him. It was part of the show, but like, that's brave nowadays, man. I guess that was like 2016, but yeah. But anyhow, yeah, man, like, I don't know. I had some great experiences just from that Uber ride.
That's kind of crazy. It's really cool that, you were able to convince the guy to hire you within 7 minutes. It reminds me of, it reminds me of the, I don't know if you saw the show Suits, where I only watched the first couple episodes, but the guy, he's basically like the super genius and he takes the bar exam for people. But he's not he doesn't have a law degree, and they're hiring a lawyer, and like he's like running from he's running for like the police or something because they correctly suspect that I think he's like dealing drugs. I watched a long time ago, but he runs into the office room, and the guy interviewing him is like, "Guy, what are you doing here?" and so he actually like, during like while he's in the room with him for like 5 minutes, he actually convinces him to hire him as the lawyer, even though he doesn't have a law degree. So that was that's a really good pilot. I never really like watched it afterwards, just because I guess there are like so many other shows to watch. But and what's her name? Meghan Markle, I think she's in it. So that's kind of like a turn off to like, I don't really want to watch the show. Why doesn't he have a law degree? I think he's just like unmotivated and like lazy or something. Or I don't know why. I can't remember why like he didn't have a law degree, but he was kind of like effed up. Like he was involved in drugs and stuff like that. I think maybe that was maybe he lost his law degree or something. But or maybe he just didn't get it. But like, yeah, he was so smart that he would take other people's bar exam, and he would pass it. And like, he was just like, he could recite any law. Like the guy interviewing him, like once he realized how like smart he was, he's like, wait, well, okay, like recite this line, and the guy, he recited it. And so like that's how he's able to convince him to hire him. So the pilot was really good. Like I said, I just never really watched it beyond that, but I do want to. I see it like come on sometimes, but then I see like Meghan Markle. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't have a license. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Wow. Yeah, I know it's a very popular show. I haven't checked it out myself. I got rid of all my streaming services. I'm trying it out for a little bit. I'm sick of it, man. I don't need to watch this stuff that bad. I'll just watch like video essays on YouTube. I'm going to give it a shot for a while. It's so stupid. I mean, every NFL football season's like, you got to be subscribed to Paramount and to NBC Sports and ESPN, and it's just like, and Fox, and it's like, just, I mean, I keep saying it. I tagged you in a tweet the other day. Just go back to cable and DVDs, man.
Yeah, those are the days. Not DVD. You said VHS tapes. You didn't say DVD.
Oh yeah. What any it's a all sorts. DVDs, VHS, whatever your fancy. You know, hey man, I was thinking recently because it's of this story. This was about 16 years ago. It was June 2009 when I was living in Westchester, and in the summer, like I was off like from college. And I was delivering pizza, but then like this guy that I delivered pizza with, he had this landscaping business. Mm-hmm. And like sometimes like to make extra money, he'd like pay me under the table. I'd go do like landscaping work for him. Oh my God, dude. Some of the worst experience. I don't know if you've ever done like landscaping work. I'm so grateful that there's people that will do that work, because it's like, that's some of the worst work ever. At one time it was me and 3 other guys. We had to mulch this entire Walgreens parking lot. Oh it took 4 of us 10 hours. It took.
Wow.
It's like when you see that, it's like maybe one of the most daunting feelings of my life. It's like you're looking up and it's like a freaking mountain of mulch. It's Mount Everest of mulch. Oh and God. You ain't leaving until it's all gone, brother. It's a horribly daunting feeling, man.
Jeez, that's something that you take for granted, because like you see it, like you walk by, you see it, and it's like you don't think about what went into it, you know?
Yeah, I'm glad there's people that want to do that. Hey, let me tell you something else. Okay, like this is gonna out me as, you know how I always say I think my sense of taste and smell are weak, or like my palate is weak. I've told you that before.
Oh yeah, you did, yeah.
Okay, I was talking to my my friend who told me, like we went to like breakfast and he got eggs and he was putting salt on his eggs. I was like, you put salt in your eggs? I eat scrambled eggs almost every day. And he was like, yeah, like you cook eggs with salt in it. Yeah. I saw him. I have never once put salt in my. Is that normal? Like people put salt in eggs? I've never once in my life done that. And now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever really put salt on anything.
Really? Like not even like I've done that before, like French fries or something that like are.
Yeah, no, but like I've never like I don't cook that much, but like I've never. Well, that's not true. Like a couple times I made like chicken breast, I'd put salt on the chicken breast, but other than that, like I've never put salt in anything I've cooked. Ever. I've never, and then like I think he was saying that like, do people put salt in their salad?
Oh, that's gross. I've never done that.
And maybe I'm imagining that, but it's like, but sometimes they have those pepper oh, maybe it's pepper, but like I can't. I never. Maybe I would be much more unhealthy if I had done like the normal. I'm talking. I don't think I've ever bought salt in my life, actually.
Really?
I mean, like probably I can count on one hand. Like I've never like put it in anything. I've never had like the desire to. So I think this really supports my argument that I have a weak palate. I'm just a man of simple taste, no pun intended. I mean,
I put salt in my salad like 2 hours ago. Wow. I've never done that. Is it? I
I've
assume
never,
it's
I've
good
never,
if you
I've
do it.
never even heard of such a thing. I've never even heard of such a thing.
No, I've never heard that. I was appalled when I went to Salworks for the first time. I saw people putting pasta in their salad. I'm like, why are you doing that?
I
Just,
mean, sometimes like the rotini, like the twirl it like a pasta salad. I mean, maybe.
I just think that's gross.
Yeah,
I
it's
never
kind
like
of
a
weird, but I think I could
like
do it. But like, I mean,
salad.
not spaghetti or something. Like, I don't know.
Salad should be like lettuce and cheese and croutons and salad dressing and bacon bits. The
Oh,
cucumbers. That should be it.
and salt.
Right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that
Oh,
was the missing
ladies and gentlemen, I didn't realize we had a salad snob here, Walter.
ingredient.
You really know your salads, I see.
Yeah, I do. I used to when I was a bachelor. I went to Salad Works like 3 or 4 times a week. Now I used to get something different. Like once I get the Caesar salad, chicken Caesar salad. The next night I get buffalo chicken, buffalo blue. It's called buffalo blue. But I'd sub out regular buffalo chickens in favor of barbecue chicken, so it was a lot better.
Nice.
And then they used to have something called the tivoli, but that came with pasta. So I was like, no pasta, please. It was like a salad with pepperoni and cheddar cheese and ham. So I used to get that with ranch dressing. And like I would cycle through those. So I guess I went like 3 times a week, and I'd get I'd get all three during the week. So I mean that I basically lived the sour. So I knew the like the manager. Like
Wow.
there's like a husband and wife, they're like old couple. They're like in their 60s who basically manage the place. And I actually think they own the place. And like they're always in there. And I used to talk to the wife all the time. And like when I brought in that girlfriend, the aforementioned girlfriend I met through my website, she, like I was like, hey, it's my girlfriend. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. You like, it's like that sort of deal. Like I was always like super close to him. It was a woman named Maureen. Unfortunately, like they sold off the business.
Oh no.
And it went downhill after that. So,
Oh no.
and also I met my wife who does not like Salad Works. So we seldom eat there. Like it's super rare. Like it's only like if she's not hungry. I'll be like, I want to be pseudo healthy. I want to go to Salad Works.
Next time I come visit, I'm gonna bring Salad Works for us.
Yeah, just to piss off my wife.
Yeah, I'll get you the Buffalo Blue.
Buffalo. It has to be barbecue chicken though. No buffalo chicken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's super important. What about guys that salt their beer? What's that all about? Have you salted your beer? I have not. I've not heard that.
I mean, I haven't drank in 4.5 years, but when I did, and I drank a lot when I did, I never did that in my life. No,
I never did either. You see it like margaritas and stuff.
Sure,
but for beer, I don't know. It's
gonna.
I don't know. Maybe it's good. My friend Body Burner, who's actually going to be on the show on Tuesday, to discuss something called Bizarro Dynasty Leagues. We're basically going to look. We're gonna review people's rosters and make fun of them. But nice. Anyway, he went to Germany one year and he came back. This is like one of my two best friends. He's like, Walt, you have no idea what you're missing out. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, half beer, half Coke. Like Coca-Cola, wow. not
I didn't even think about that, but that's probably a good clarification.
Yeah. So I'm like, seriously? He's like, dude, try it. And I'm like, fine, okay. So he did it. He did it for half beer, half Coke. He gave it to me. I was like, this is pretty good. I had no idea. And apparently that's like a thing in Germany that they.
Wow. Okay. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
Hey man, I was thinking about. Remember Monday Night Football on ABC, like back in the 90s, when on the scoreboard they used to put the team nicknames instead of the names. Like, let's say like the Chargers and the Dolphins were playing each other, it would say Bolts and Fins.
I don't remember that. Well, how long ago was that?
It was like in the 90s, or like I remember like Packers and Vikings. It said Pack and Vikes, Vikes, and it's like, could you imagine trying to explain that to somebody that's never watched a football game in their life?
The nicknames? So it doesn't seem like that difficult to explain. It's a nickname.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, I don't know. It's just like, okay, like, so like that's like their nickname, right? Like, I don't know. It might be tough to do.
But those, like, some teams don't have nicknames. I feel like well, I was about to say Browns, but I guess Brownies, but that's like longer. Like typically nicknames are shorter. So like, what about like the Texans weren't around the '90s? What would the Texans nicknames be?
Yeah, well, we got to think.
Texans? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It was such a dumb idea because I felt like they were reaching with so many of them.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to call the Chiefs or what are they going to call the Raiders? Like, what's short the Raids? Like, that's not going to work.
Raiders play like silver and black, but like that's so long.
What about the Broncos? They call them the horsies or something. Yeah, like I feel like I guess they only did it for a select number of teams. I thought Pack and Vikes was a reach. I might be wrong.
Oh, Pack's not that much of a reach.
Pack is fine, but the Vikes
is a little weird.
I guess I don't know, but it's just like maybe within their fan base. I don't know. Where's Matthiasen? We need to get him to weigh in.
Yeah,
but they eventually did away with it. Yeah, they eventually did away with it, of course. But I guess, yeah, like what would maybe like the Eagles? You could say the Eags.
The Birds. They're the Birds.
Birds, or like I wonder, or like the G-Men. I don't know.
G-Men, yeah.
Or maybe Cowboys was just boys or something.
The Boys, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was short-lived.
Redskins were Skins. Yeah, look. I mean,
that's right. That was. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are the Bears? What are the Bears? The Bears.
I don't know. I wonder. Maybe it wasn't as long. Like maybe it didn't last as long as I thought. Maybe it was just like, or maybe it was just for certain teams when they played. But
maybe seems weird to do it. I don't remember this.
Yeah,
must have been for like 1 year. Wasn't it like 1 year or something?
It wasn't long. I don't remember it being long, but I know it was in the 90s.
Okay.
Speaking of the Finns, I always think of this. I always think of this play, and I never actually looked it up. The infamous Leon Lett play in the snow game I think it was on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Where the Dolphins kick the field goal. I think they block it, and then Leon Lett jumped on it.
Yeah.
But like, what's the ruling there? Because like, how do the Dolphins get a second chance with no time? Like, what's the call there?
I think if it's blocked and it goes beyond the line of scrimmage, then it's basically like if the other team touches it's live ball.
Okay.
And then it's because he touched it. If he fumbled, then the other team would get the ball.
Okay, but didn't the Dolphins recover it in the end zone, or is it like a dead ball, like at the spot of the foul, or not spot of the foul, or like at the spot of the recovery rather? Because like, why did the Dolphins kick a field goal? I seem to remember, unless I'm remembering it wrong, that they had it in the end zone, but like they gave him like another play like from the one, and they kicked the field goal to win it.
I don't recall. I mean, that was I don't know if I was really watching football that much back then, but
I just remember the commentator like once Lett was on, he's like, oh, it's Leon Lett after he did the. I mean, but like, what can you say? Because I think Dallas won the Super Bowl the year that happened too. I'm pretty sure the year that play, and then of course the one where Don Beebe knocked the ball out of his hands. They won that Super Bowl by 35. Like, so at the end of the day, like if you're Leon Lett, like you're probably like, so what? Like the mistakes didn't cause us to lose or anything. It's like he's still got Super Bowl rings.
No, yeah. I mean, look, it's not a. It's not a situation with the guy who let the ball go through his feet. The Mets player, I can't remember, or the Red Sox player.
Oh,
I can't remember his name. Or
the late great Bill Buckner.
Right.
It's a story I've put a lot of thought into. That the Buckner story and the Steve Bartman story, for those that you are familiar.
Yeah, they recovered the file. I was just watching the video. It's not like clear where it was because it was so snowy. Like there's no lines back then. So
I guess it's because I was under the impression that there was no more time left. So like because they recovered it, there's like one more play. Why isn't the game over? I guess was my question. But maybe. I mean, obviously it was the right call. I'm not questioning. I guess I just always wondered.
I don't know. But I do remember Jerry Jones like celebrating in the air and then just like looking like, wait a second, what happened? But I guess like you said, it didn't really matter. But yeah, it's not like Buckner. It's not like Steve Bartman who messed up. Not that he was part of the team, but still like the teams lost in those situations. Like they did not win their championships. but the Cowboys did. So like if the Cowboys didn't win the championship because like that happened and their loss like kept them out of like home field advantage or something, or kept them out of the playoffs, then like that would be something like infamous. Or if it happened in the playoffs and led to the loss, but like it was just a screw up that didn't end up mattering at all, in the long run. It was just a funny moment because he just didn't understand the rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's it's
wrong
way Jim Marshall. Yeah, that sounds like something that would happen to me if I played football. Like I could see me doing that. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, go ahead.
When I was in high school, our high school punter kind of reminds me of that. Like it was a super windy day, and this poor guy, he's not a good punter, and so like, he punted the ball, went like straight up in the air, and like the wind knocked it back, and it was like a punt of like negative 15 yards. It was like there's like no reason to punt there. They should have just gone for it.
That's horrible. That sounds like I'd be afraid I'd kick it like backwards over my head.
Yeah, right.
Could you imagine?
I have said I want to teach my son how to punt. Actually, you know what? I brought it up to him for the first time. I'm like, Connie, do you want to learn how to punt? He's like, what's that? I'm like, you just get the ball and kick it as far as you can. And he's like, it's like, yeah. It's like this, and then he grabs like a soda can out of the trash and he does it. I'm like, yeah, that's basically it.
That's basically it.
Basically, yeah. I mean, really, that you have to do like coffin corner and stuff.
Yeah,
feels like
I'd like
people
to be the punter.
Feels like punters don't do that enough. But yeah, so he's into that, and he might be a history buff too because he's not even 4 yet, and like he knows who's on Mount Rushmore, which is pretty cool. Like I was at my mom's house today because she was cutting his hair. She used to be a hairdresser. And so she was cutting his hair, and then we had dinner. And I was like, "Hey, Conrad, tell Ba, his grandma, tell Ba who's on Mount Rushmore." And then he's like, "George Washington, Abraham Lincoln," and then he's in long pause, like Thomas Jefferson, and then the last one was like Teddy Roosevelt. Like my mom was like so impressed. She's like, "Wow,
that is pretty good."
Yeah.
Do you remember that old Cheerios commercial from the 90s where like the kids were like they were like practicing like. His mom was like quizzing him on the state capitals, and she was like, "Oh, like Tennessee," and he was reeling them off. And then this kid was like getting everyone right, and then she goes Vermont, and like the kid is stumped, but like the little baby in the high chair, like at the breakfast table, she goes, Montpelier. I love that commercial. Yeah, that's how I remember. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but Montpelier is the capital of Vermont.
I totally forgot about it, but thanks for reminding me.
You do remember it?
I remember seeing that commercial.
Yeah.
So I was like vaguely familiar, but I do remember something like that. That's cool. Like it's pretty cool to see my son like get into that.
That's awesome.
I always ask him, I'm like what? So what did George Washington do? And he's like, free the slaves. I'm like, wait, no, that's
all right, well, yeah, one step at a time there.
Yeah, he's not for yet. So, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are at the hockey game.
Nice.
Why are they at the hockey game?
Awesome.
Why are they at Florida Panther? Are they like with Travis Kelce from Miami, or he's not from Edmonton? I don't think.
I don't know.
What is Travis Kelce's hometown? Let's look. Hometown.
Hey, while you're looking that up, remember when Appalachian State
beat Cleveland? So
when Appalachian State beat Michigan in 2007?
Yeah, it was. They were I think 41.5 point underdogs.
Wait, how many was it? 40?
41.5.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't even think the money line was available.
No, that wasn't too high. I think I bet the 41.5. I remember like not being impressed with Michigan, but I didn't know anything about Appalachian State. I'm just like, this Michigan team's not good. So I do remember betting Appalachian State. It wasn't a big bet though.
Wow.
But I was like, I couldn't believe they won. I thought they'd cover. I didn't think they'd win. But yeah, that's kind of insane. But it was cool. I mean, look, as Penn State, I'm not even a Penn State fan. I'm a Penn State alumnus. But like, I like. There are a couple of guys I know who are Michigan fans. I just don't like them. So I kind of like whenever they win or they lose, I get like a nice feeling inside a little bit. That's like the only reason I care. I'm not even a Penn State fan. I just don't like those people. But anyway, coming next, what did Woodrow Wilson do? That's good, Patrick. I need to tell him who's the worst president, and I need to teach him Woodrow Wilson. So if he's ever like taught by a liberal teacher, like Donald Trump's the worst president, like he's a fascist. Like my son would be, no, it was Woodrow Wilson. And like, why is that? Because income tax, Federal Reserve, like, and everything. Yeah, Woodrow Wilson by far the worst president of all time.
Man, remember when Stanford was what were they? Stanford beat USC? I think it was that.
Yeah.
I think they were like 41-point underdogs too. Richard Sherman was on that Stanford team.
Jim Harbaugh coached.
Oh, you're right.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I think I tagged you in it. Did you on June the 4th? Did you say happy 6-4 day? And it was that, remember the 2004 homecoming game for Penn State and they lost 6-4 to Iowa?
6-4, yeah.
Yeah, 2 field goals for Iowa and 2 safeties. One of them Iowa took intentionally, one of the safeties.
Right.
People were pissed, man.
No.
People were hot. I remember this one. Sorry, go ahead.
You'd almost rather get blown out. Like, 38-3, like losing 6-4 is embarrassing.
Yeah, especially at a homecoming game. I remember this guy that was like near me because I was at the game.
Yeah.
And this guy like near me in the I mean, this guy was freaking reading the riot act about how pissed off he was about Penn State losing.
Wow.
I mean, like he was reading me the riot act, but like he wasn't at me. I was like, dude, like relax. It's not that big of a deal. Was that
the year we lived next to each other? That
was that year. Yeah, that was 04-05, and then they went 4-8 that year. They won the first 2 games. They played like Akron and Youngstown State, and then it was like they were bad. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that because actually their defense was really good. I don't think they never gave up more than 24 points in a game actually, and they went 4-8. Can you believe that?
Yeah, look, Tamba Hali was on that team. Like they had some great like future pros.
Yeah,
on that team.
Like I remember
Paul Posluszny. Like,
oh yeah.
There's some really good players on that team, but that offense was awful. It was Zach Mills. Zach Mills is the quarterback. Who, by the way, when he first took over, I remember seeing mock drafts. Like Zach Mills was in the first round, and like he was so good to start his career. Like little did people know it's because Larry Johnson was there, and just like really like commanding that offense. And Larry Johnson left, and then there was nothing left, and like Zach Mills just got worse and worse every year after that.
Wow. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, and then Michael Robinson took over the next year, and Penn State was 2 seconds away from being undefeated, which is like crazy turnaround.
I remember that one. Yeah,
it was that 6-4 year. It was the year before they went. Was it 10-1 or 11-1? I forget what the total record was. Their final record was, but yeah, it was a great turnaround. Like a lot changed. Yeah. Like Michael Robinson was all the difference in the world, that offense, and they still had Tamba Hali and Paul Posluszny too, which helped.
Yeah, that was a great team. I remember that 1 second game against Michigan. But I think I told you this story before that 6-4 game. The night before, there was a pep rally, and like the team came and Joe Paterno came, and and I was in the march. It was the 1 year that I did the Penn State Blue Band, which I'll just say I was not a fan at all. But there I was at this pep rally, and I'll never forget so like the team comes out and people are cheering, whatever, the cheerleaders there and everything. And then all of a sudden Joe Paterno comes on and he's taking off his jacket and spiking it on the stage, and like people are going nuts,
Yeah. And
he's just up there rambling on about whatever, because that's kind of what he did at those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed like in the stands, like the band was like standing over here, and then like there was like this guy. He wasn't like, I could tell, like pick him out. He was drunk and like he was definitely very rowdy. Like he was yelling louder than other people and like yelling when everyone was quiet, sort of thing. Yeah. And I had noticed him earlier. So we're like 30 minutes into this pep rally, like later, and Joe Paterno is up there, like he's just out there monologuing. People start cheering and it goes quiet. And as soon as it goes quiet, that guy that I saw, that I was like making commotion earlier, he just yells. It was in Rec Hall. So it was relatively loud. Like the whole Rec Hall heard it. And he goes, "No Heisman, no Heisman." That's all he said. No Heisman, no Heisman. It's dead quiet and everyone looks at him. And we knew the team was bad. This was the night before the 6-4 game. And everyone was like, what? I mean, there's like a couple thousand people in here.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's Joe Paterno going to say back to this? because it got everyone's attention. And Joe Paterno goes, I'll never forget this. He goes, "Oh no, we do have a Heisman. His name is Zach Mills." And people were like, but like, I'll never forget the way he said that. "Oh no, we do have a Heisman. His name is Zach Mills." And like, it was just like
he stuck with Zach Mills for so long, like way longer than he should have. Like he should have mentioned him for Michael Robinson that 6-4 year. Like I remember, I remember writing an article about it in the Walt's Wild World of Sports. That column I had in the Saturday Daily Times. I think I wrote like a tablet could fall from the sky saying like start Michael Robinson like right on Joe Paterno's porch, and he'd still start Zach Mills just because he's so committed to him for no reason. Like this guy, he had a great freshman year and just got worse and worse. And like he was so bad at the end, and it's like, oh, let's not play our promising a mobile quarterback. Let's keep going with Zach Mills, who's awful. But that explains it. That thing that I said at the rally makes sense because he apparently thought he was a Heisman. By the way, I was one time I was heading to swim practice at Penn State, and I'm walking I'm right next to the natatorium, and I see like a red convertible drive by, like it's Paterno driving his car. And he I look at him, I'm like, "Oh, hi." And he's like, salutes me. It just keeps driving. It's like so random. I'm like, wow, just saluted me. That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, like you won you're a Medal of Honor winner. Or something.
Right. I'm the Heisman winner, apparently.
Yeah. Well, there was a Penn State player. I don't want to say who it was, but I delivered pizza to this player several occasions.
What year was it?
No, I don't want to accidentally out the player.
You won't out the year.
I don't know. It's sometime
like a 1 in 70 shot here.
Yeah, like 06 to 08.
Okay, all right,
in that range. I can't remember exactly what years, but and every time he never tipped. So when he would make mistakes on the field, I was secretly happy.
Nice.
This Quacky guy's a real dickhead, huh?
Yeah, well, I told this story about the Penn State running back in my first book. He was very briefly in the NFL. He played preseason couple years, I think, and then he was gone. But I was out with my friend Jessica and two other guy friends, and basically I have the longer story in the book, but we're eating pizza after we're done at the bar, and this running back comes in with this whole entourage, and he walks by our table, and he beckons to the bathroom, and Jess follows him to the bathroom, and then and we're like, wait, do we leave? What do we do here? And so I was like, Jess is my friend, I'm gonna stay. Just to make sure she if she goes home by herself, if she's okay. Yeah. So anyway, 15 minutes later, the running back leaves the bathroom, and 2 minutes after that, she leaves, and then she approaches our table, and she's wiping her mouth. She's like, nothing happened.
Oh my god.
Okay. There was more to that. I don't want to rehash the whole story, but that is part of the book. I can't remember if that was part of the first. I think that was the third book, actually. It might have been, actually, maybe put in both. I'm not sure. It's in one of the books I've written. So there's definitely more to that. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. And there's
wow.
There's more to that too. This whole thing. So when I first met her, we were both auditioning to write for the Collegian, which is the Penn State newspaper. And after we're walking out, there was instant chemistry between us. And I was like, but I was awkward back then, I was like, hey, you wanna hang out? And she's like, and do what? I'm like, go to my room and watch a movie. I said it so weirdly, and she's like, watch a movie, huh? I'm like, yeah. And so she's like, actually, I would, but I do have a boyfriend. So I thought she was making stuff up. She did have a boyfriend though, and I found that out because eventually I talked to her through Facebook, and she kept mentioning how abusive her boyfriend was toward her. And I kept saying like, why are you with this guy if he's like
terrible.
abusing you and stuff? Oh yeah, absolutely. And so that year I used to have lunch with my friend. I had 3 friends who lived on the same floor as me. This girl Milana, I was pretty good friends with her, and like her 2 friends. And I eventually became friends with them. Not like close friends or anything, but like I would always talk to them sometimes. So I'd have lunch with them, and like one time, I don't mention the guy's name because I mentioned abuser. Milana was like, oh, he's bringing his girlfriend. I'm like, oh, that's fine. And brings his girlfriend in. It's Jess. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's the abuser. I've been friends with the abuser.
God.
Yeah, I was like, how crazy is that? Like, Penn State's a big campus. Like, it's like what, 40,000 people. And I was like, how much of a coincidence is that? Like, this guy, I had, I talked to him at lunch and stuff, and he was like this mild mannered guy. Like he was like a little small, not too small. He's like 5'6". He wore glasses. He didn't look like a guy who like would hurt a fly, But then apparently he was the abusive boyfriend. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy.
I guess no one's really who you think they are.
Yeah, you just never look. Yeah, you never know. You find out about that stuff all the time. Like, remember, like, this is a crazy example, but Bill Cosby, who's like, he was the man. Like, he did the pudding commercials, and he was on the Cosby Show. And, like, everyone loved him. And then it comes out that he's raping women. Like, it's crazy stuff. Like, you just never know.
I think I talked to you about this before because this is like an interesting like topic of discussion. I think I had a friend who she told me that she really liked the Cosby Show. Like, remember the old show, the old Cosby Show?
Yeah.
And of course, like at its time, what was that, like late 80s, maybe earlier, even earlier than that. But
yeah,
it was a wildly popular show. And my friend was telling me, she's like, I really like to watch it, but like I'm like afraid to tell people that. And I was like, this is what I told her. I was like, well, I understand like why you feel that way. Like, I wouldn't necessarily shout it from the mountaintops that you're doing it, but like at the same time, like it wasn't just like Bill Cosby on the show. Like, there's other actors and actresses and camera people and editors and writers and producers and people doing the lights and the sets and whatnot. Like, there's so many more people involved with that project. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I don't think it's bad, like to, like it's not just him, like response. So like I told her, I was like, I don't think you should feel like bad for that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like, oh, I love, you see, you know what I'm getting at though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you never know. As Patch is saying, Jared from Subway is like another, like, what if you met like Jared from Subway, you only knew him as the sandwich guy, and like, in person, he seemed like a nice dude. You're like, oh, I met Jared from Subway. He seemed like a cool dude. And then, like, of course, you find out what he was into, and then and you're like, yeah, you don't want to admit that. Actually, something like that like happened to someone I know. There was this guy Justin, and I was never friends with him. He was like a friend of a friend. So I went to his house a couple of times to play poker. This was back when like poker was like all the rage. And like it was like, like my friends were like, hey, we're playing at Justin's house. And this guy was, his parents were loaded. So like, he was trust fund baby and stuff like that. But like he had a huge basement. He had to have like all this cool stuff in his house. Like that's why people went there. They just wanted to play there and like hang out. And I like probably talked to this guy like 3 times. Like I said like 3 sentences to him. I was friends with everyone else, like not really him, but I was just there because I had a couple of friends who invited me. So he eventually went to Penn State, and I was visiting my cousin there, and I was doing some other stuff for my professors, but I was walking downtown. I saw Justin. I'm like, oh, hey Justin, what's going on? And like he looked at me like weirdly. It was like a weird, strange look. He looked at me as like he was suspicious of me or something. And I'm like, oh, hey, well, look, we're going to this party tonight. I don't know if you're doing anything. If you want to, tag along, if you want to come with, that'd be cool. And he's like, okay. And he kept like looking around as if like someone was watching him. I was like, and I walked away. I'm like, that's like the weirdest exchange I've ever had. Like, not that I knew this guy very well, or like, I initially thought that like he didn't recognize me, and I probably should have said, hey, I play poker at your house, like, friends with John and Dave, but I just kind of forgot about it. And then like it's probably like 3 years later, 4 years later, my friends who were the ones who invited me to his house, they're like, "Hey, Walt, you never guess what?" I was like, "What?" It's like, "Remember Justin?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "So yeah, he got arrested for distributing like child porn
Oh my
stuff."
god.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh my god." I was like, and like he wasn't. I don't think he was just distributing it. I think he was like making it too. And so like
Jesus,
I thought
yeah.
about it. I'm like I wonder if that's why he was suspicious of me, because like he was probably meeting someone or something, and
Oh,
he
that's so
thought that
weird.
he thought that like I was either like onto him or something, or like or, like he was just like looking out for people who were onto him. But I was like the weirdest thing. I was like, oh my god! Like I was in this guy's house. I spoke a few times to him, but like I never like I wasn't close friends with him, so I didn't know. But yeah, it's insane that just find that stuff
Jeez,
out.
man.
Yeah, right. So
But
he's been in prison ever since.
wow.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this. On to happier topics here.
Yeah. Right.
How do you spell canceled? Do you spell it with 2 L's or one?
1L.
Are you serious? I do too.
I
I
think I
know.
do one.
I'm pretty sure either is acceptable. You can look
Yeah,
at it.
both are correct. This is weird. I always did one. I don't know. Why is that? I don't. Did that come up in
I don't
something
know.
recently?
No, I don't know. I just telling you my unfiltered thoughts.
It's like the square, rectangle, square.
Yeah. Don't forget the quadrangle
Yeah.
and the
There's a
rhombi when you have multiple rhombus.
the
Rhombuses.
triangle, circle. If it identifies the circle, you never know.
Yeah.
Quacky, the king of transitions.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
talk
but
about
like,
happy times.
yeah, I think that 1L looks clunky to me for some reason and canceled.
I guess so. I don't know. I guess double L does seem more natural. I always thought it was single L. And I like this is before I realized that both were acceptable. But I did think I really initially thought that it was 1L. But I don't know. I always just do 1L. I really don't know. There's
Yeah,
a lot of weird things in like language where
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did look it up at one point, but it was I don't know how long ago it was. Probably a while, and both are acceptable.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like language is evolving like right before our eyes. I mean, I think that's well, I don't want to say it's obvious, but like and you know how I know it's because when I see spelling and grammar, like when I see correct spelling and grammar, I'm like, whoa,
I always
like
wonder if
I
people
can't
luck
believe
into
it.
it. Like I always wonder if people luck into it. Like if someone
Mm.
uses farther correctly instead of further, I always wonder if that was like luck or if they knew. And I feel like sometimes it is luck because like then later they'll say the wrong one.
Well,
It's funny that like people just don't know the difference.
Well, I think like to me like the most like the most common ones are there and your
Yes.
like you hardly ever you want to know something weird. You ever see people? I saw this. Was it in an? It was I can't remember if it was in a Facebook post or what. But sometimes people like when they have a word that ends in the letter S, they try to like put an apostrophe S. Like someone spelled
Oh yeah.
gets Gets. They spelled it Get apostrophe S. It's like what?
Yeah, people do apostrophe s like so incorrectly. Like if it's plural, sometimes they'll just do apostrophe s and what whose
Yeah,
possession is this? Like that
but
that like always pisses me off.
yeah, but they were doing it like for like literally any word that like ended in S. I knew a guy that sent out a lot of work emails, and it was like littered with that. Like almost any word that ended in S had an apostrophe. It was like he just put an apostrophe before the S. It's like,
Yeah, that's
dude,
annoying.
yeah,
Uh,
like maybe like oh, please review the changes, and it would be change apostrophe S, like
mhm.
changes.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
That always
I've
pisses me
never,
off.
I've only seen that a couple times. I've only seen that in 2 instances. Do you think that's a rare one?
I see it all the time. I see that
You
so
see the
often.
apostrophe S for in instances like
So
I
often.
just named. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
see that one that often.
I see it all the time. I don't know why I do.
It's wow. Now I'm probably going to see it everywhere now.
Yeah, I know.
But like your and there, those are the biggest ones. I hardly ever see them.
Those are easy. Like those are easy.
I don't understand. Like
Like there's no reason that you should get those wrong. Like farther and further, I could see why people screw up because they just don't know the rule or like the true definition of them. Or like who and whom that's even tougher because it's subject versus object. But like your and there like and there. It's kind of seems like it should be easy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess that's just like the way language is evolving. I mean, look at like the old English, like old was like OLDE and, like it had E's and a lot of like, I guess that's just how things change,
yeah, speaking of
It's,
old English, it'd be cool if people were like your as in YORE. They just kept spelling it that way. Bob Mom says Quacky's
oh,
biggest fan here. Is that true? Is he your biggest fan?
yeah. Hey, what's up, Bob Mob? I appreciate you. I'm not sure we've made acquaintance before, but thanks for joining. Thanks.
He's your biggest fan. So
Yeah. I'll take it.
welcome,
Thank you,
Bob Mob.
Bob Mob from the UK. What are you, 6 hours ahead? You're probably just waking up, maybe.
I think they're 4 hours.
Oh no, you're right. It is like 4. No, I'm confused because I went to Spain once and that was 6 hours ahead. Yeah, UK is farther west, so yeah, you're probably right. It probably is 4.
Farther west. Good job. Was that intentional or accidental?
What's that?
You said farther west. Is that intentional or was that accidental?
Did I? Maybe I don't know the difference between farther.
No. You said it correctly. I was wondering if that was intentional or if you guessed whether farther was.
I don't
right
know, man. I don't know. I said it right.
You did because
then why are you questioning it?
I'm not questioning. I question if you did it intentionally or if you did it accidentally.
I don't know. I just say what I hear in my head, I don't know. It just comes out, man.
Yeah.
Further.
Farther means like farther's actual distance.
Yeah.
Like how much farther is grandma's house?
Yeah.
Whereas like
further down the line in life,
Right. I'm going further in my career, like stuff that doesn't have actual distance to it. Like that.
Yeah.
That's definite. That's like the two difference.
What was that? Was that like Ford trucks or something? The slogan used to be "Go farther." Maybe you should get them to say "Go further."
Well, it could be both, right? Hey, you can go farther in your truck, like distance wise, or you can go further in your life with this truck. It could be both.
Your pronouns are further, farther, right?
Right. I always wanted to do he, her pronouns and she, him. So if like I'm the subject of the sentence, I'm a guy. But if I'm the object in the sentence, I'm a girl. Just like really screw people up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You have to be grammatically correct to get my pronouns right.
Yeah, you want to know another? Want to know one that I have been confused about since like my entire life. Like I remember in like maybe middle school English class, like they would write the sentence and then in parentheses it would give you two choices. Like there or there, like when you were learning it, something like that in like the old English books.
Yeah.
I remember seeing in some of those books, it was like the choices were sit or set, SIT sit or SET set.
Okay.
And it's like Walter is going to sit or set down in a chair. And it's like, I just remember thinking the first time I saw it, I was like, who would confuse that?
No, that's so weird.
But I think it must be like a regional dialect thing because, like I've done work in I mean, I'm sure there's people watching right now. They're like, oh yeah, you hear that all the time. But like, I never really heard anyone say that until I spent time in the South. And then like we're just setting over there. Like I hear people and like, you can clearly say they're setting.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I remember I was just remember thinking like, who would, I don't know. I think like vocabulary and that sort of thing always, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm sure I probably have mixed up farther and further before. But like I remember when we used to have like remember those? Did you have those like level B, level C, level D vocabulary books? It went up to like level H. I don't or M. I don't know. And we used to do them in English class, and you would do all these exercises on like in the workbook, and then we would have a test on them at the end of the week. Okay, I'm telling you what, Walter. I never cracked that book open other than to do like the exercises. Like once I did them once, like I already knew most of the words. Every now and then, like I just think it kind of came, and I'm grateful. Like I'm fortunate, I guess, that it came naturally to me. Like I don't know, like for the most part, like I kind of know, like based on like how the word sounds, like what it might mean. So like as I'm going through, like okay, I'm learning and I'm matching it here and I'm writing it in the blank or here or whatever. I never once had to study for a test outside of like doing the required homework. and I never got anything less than 100% on any of them.
Wow, perfect.
Yeah, like I thought, but I remember there were like other kids that, and like I'm not throwing any shade or anything at all. Like, we all learn differently. That's not the point. But where people would like really like study, like, oh, I got to study for that vocab test tomorrow. I'm like, what? Like, I remember I was like, don't you just know them after doing the homework? It's so easy. But I don't know. But yeah, but like, I mean, obviously, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. I'm not throwing any shade. I just remember like some of those things. And that was the same class where I discovered sit and set.
Well,
it wasn't setting right with me,
Right. Well, there's the other end of the spectrum where there's this guy Jerry who's in my grade school class, and he went to my high school as well. So we were going to play basketball, and like Jerry lived like right around the corner, and this is before phones, well, before cell phones anyway. And so we were walking, and like hey, his window was open. We're like, hey Jerry, come play basketball, and he's like guys, I have to study. And we're like, wait, what? For what? we're like in the same class, and he's like, I know, I just have to study. And like, but we're like, there's no test. He's like, yeah, but we have to study. And so he just had to study. And guess what? He was our class valedictorian in high school, and he became a doctor, very successful doctor. So I guess it worked out, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
wild,
but I wonder if like you go back in time, like the movie. The one with Ashton Kutcher, I forget what the movie was called, but like
Butterfly Effect.
Butterfly Effect, yeah. If like he went back in time and like I convinced Jerry to play basketball at like that one time and he didn't study and like we go in the future and instead of like a world like a renowned doctor, he's like on the corner shooting up meth.
Yeah, it's all your fault, man.
Yeah,
dude, that's hilarious.
Shooting up heroin in his house. It's like that one time I played basketball, he ruined my life.
Dude, that's freaking hilarious. That's a good one too. The Butterfly Effect. I watched it not too long ago. It doesn't. I mean, as most things don't, it doesn't withstand the test of time. Some parts of it don't hold up as well, but it's a good movie. If you guys have never seen that Butterfly Effect, it's really good. It's really
Last time I saw it was as like pseudo. I thought like as pseudo dating this girl. Like we went out a couple times. It never went anywhere, but I saw it at her house, and this was I would say like 2010, 2000, maybe actually earlier, like 2009, I think. That was like the last time I watched it, so it's been a while. It's almost 20 years now. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's been so long. It felt like yesterday. Anyway,
jeez, man, yeah, that movie came out in like I want to say 03.
Yeah,
02 or 03.
I brought the DVD to our house. I was like, yeah, let's watch this.
Wow,
and,
I had the DVD. I had the DVD too.
Yeah.
Hey, have you heard of this movie? I'm going to watch it this weekend. Have you heard of this movie called The Substance?
No.
With Demi Moore.
No.
Yeah, you should look it up. It's gotten pretty good reviews, and I started watching the trailer, and
okay,
yeah,
what is it?
It's
okay. Fading actress, blah blah blah, becomes distressed when her chauvinistic boss fires her from an aerobics show. She soon injects herself with a mysterious serum that promises a younger, better version of herself, but things go horribly wrong.
Oh, Patrick likes it. Okay. Yeah, I watched the half of the trailer and I shut it off because I was already sold.
Okay.
And I don't. If that happens, like if I'm watching a trailer and I like it, then I'll shut it off because like I don't want to. I want to have like the best experience possible where like I don't know as much coming in. So I don't really know like really too much other than like the synopsis there.
So where are you watching this if you canceled everything?
What's that?
Where are you watching this if you canceled every streaming service?
Oh, I'll probably just rent it or something. I'm gonna watch it with my dad this weekend. I was telling him about it.
Rent it from where?
Like wow, what a difference! Blockbuster Video. Remember that song? No, you just rent it on any streaming service like Amazon, $3.99 or something.
But I thought you deleted our streaming service.
Oh no, I'm going to be at my dad's.
Oh, your dad's. You're
Day.
Your dad's. Okay. I was confused. I was like, wait a second. I think you delete everything.
Yeah, but I think you can do it like on Fandango or something. I don't know that you. Well, I don't know. I've actually never done it. I just saw it on the screen. I remember the last time I was in a Blockbuster Video. This was the summer of 2009 in Westchester, Pennsylvania, And I was walking out of this Blockbuster Video, and there was this guy walking in, like, like we were both in the store, walking towards each other. I was exiting. He was kind of just coming in. And he had his little son with him. The kid was like maybe like 4 years old, and he's like, "Dad, can I get this? Like, Dad, can I get this?" And I just remember as we walked by each other, this guy made eye contact with me, and he just shakes his head and he goes, "Don't have kids, man. Don't ever have kids."
That's terrible. That's terrible.
No, like, but you could just tell in the moment he didn't really mean it, but like he had like he was like glazed over, like the kid's like, Dad, like, like he's probably just driving him nuts. He's just like the way he's like,
that's awful. I had a similar interaction with this guy. He no longer lives. He used to live 2 doors down from me. He moved away. But this guy, like, he would just always wash his car. He had this like Corvette. He used to just walk. Like 3 times a week he'd be washing his car. That's all he did. He had like slick back hair. You can tell like he was like a cool dude like 30 years ago. Now he's like 50s, 60s, but he still thought that like he's trying to like live, relive the high school days, I guess. Like that's what he struck me as. This was like, it's had to be, well, my son's 3.5 now, so this is probably actually like 3 years ago when my son was half a year old, and so I was pushing my son around, in his, in like the carriage and stuff, like in the stroller, just walking around the neighborhood, which is like you used to do because to get your kid out of the house. And he drives by this Corvette, and like he like looks at me, he's like, oh man, those days were rough. I don't miss those days at all. And I'm like, dude, I'm having a blast hanging out with my son.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, in the moment, like the guy, you could just tell he was having a rough day. It was just like funny. Like I didn't take it as like he meant that literally, but he just had to like say something to somebody, and it was me. I got such a laugh out of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
At no point did I think he was like actually serious. He was just like he had it.
Maybe not, but like we are having like so many fewer kids these days. Like the Gen Alpha is like 40 million compared to like, I think Gen Z is like 60 million and millennials might be 75 million. And like this is Gen Alpha's last year, I believe, or it might be over already. I think it's either 2024 or 2025 is Gen Alpha's final year. What are you showing me on your phone?
Breaking news: police looking to arrest former NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown on attempted murder charge.
Wow,
oh my gosh.
Well, I was about to say, like, going back to Cosby, you never know, but that, I guess maybe with Brown we kind of knew. It's a little nuts. Attempted murder is kind of nuts, kind of crazy though.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we know nothing else. It's words on a screen, like
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's not guilty of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not. Sorry if I came like I was trying to make a judgment. I wasn't. I was just. That's very interesting breaking news. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, he does have a shady past, so Anyway, I wanted to.
Sorry, we can get into.
With Patrick here, I wanted to mention 2 things to Patrick. Hopefully, he's still on. I don't know if you heard me before, but the 8 show, I think you would really like. I love this show. I watched it on Netflix a few weeks ago, and I couldn't stop watching it. It's only 8 episodes, and like some of the episodes like are like 40 minutes, some are like an hour. The finale is an hour 20. But the show is awesome. The synopsis is here. It says 8 individuals trapped in a mysterious 8-story building participate in a tempting but dangerous game show where they earn money as time passes. And it sounds like Squid Game, right? But it's definitely not. It is absolutely not like Squid Game, which I first started watching it because like, oh cool, another Squid Game, let's check it out. It is definitely not like Squid Game at all. It was really great. I thought the characters were awesome. The interactions with the characters was fantastic. And I mean, this is said 15 minutes into the first episode, so it's not really a spoiler. And I just want to say that, like, just to distinguish it from Squid Game, they actually, like, one of the rules of the game of the show they're in says that if a character dies, the show ends. So like it's not like a killing game like Squid Game. It's more like psychological. It's great show, like so good. I hope they make a season 2. I don't know if they will. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about it, like as far as like speculating if there's gonna be season 2. But I definitely urge anyone to watch this. If you like even like that sort of genre, and like I said, it's not like Squid Game, but like at the same time, it sort of is because like people are competing, and it's a South Korean show. So it has vibes of Squid Game, but it's a lot different. But I strongly urge you guys to watch it, and like you can tell from the beginning it gets kind of dark. It gets super dark. So I can't recommend this enough. It is fantastic. Like I said, I started watching the first episode, like thinking, okay, it's on my watch list for sure. Yeah, I started watching the first episode, and like 5 episodes later, I'm like, oh my god, it's so late, I have to get to bed, and then I finished it the next day. Like that's like one of those shows where I just couldn't stop watching it. Like, and I really hope there's a season 2. Anyway, it's
Wow.
so good.
It sounds very interesting. I'd like to check it out, but I don't have any streaming services right now.
You should have waited to delete it.
I should get it on Fandango. Fandango.
Go around at Blockbuster.
So,
Um,
geez, we've been talking about nonsense for an hour and 15 minutes already. I guess we should get into the.
Well, okay. So we have comments to read, and we have the topic of conversation tonight, which is going to be pretty short. So here it is. So this is it, and let's get your opinion on this. So this guy had a 5-pick parlay, right? Dodgers to win the World Series, Oilers to win the Stanley Cup, Liberty to win the WNBA, which I assume they did, Eagles to win the Super Bowl, and the Thunder to win the NBA Finals. This guy bet $13 to win $270,000, $270,761.40. Now, the Thunder are down 2-1, but the main issue is the Oilers, who are trailing. I believe they were down 2-1, I believe, and they won tonight. So this guy's going to have a better opportunity tomorrow.
Wait, the Oilers won tonight?
Well, Slew said Oilers. I assume they did. Let's see.
Oilers
yeah,
won,
Oilers won 5-4 in overtime. Yeah.
That series is tied up at 2 games apiece.
2 games apiece. Apiece, baby.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, now here's the question. So before the Oilers, they won game 1, right? Did they win game 1? Or is it the opposite? Did Florida win game 1? Oh, no, you know what?
No, they won game 1. The Oilers won game 1.
Before game 3, the cash out, I believe, was about $100,000. And then maybe it was like 96,000 or something. And then the Oilers lost to trail 2-1, and the Thunder lost to trail 2-1. And the cash out has dropped to 58,321, and I assume it's going to rise with the Oilers. It might be like 75,000 tomorrow or something. Here's the question for you. What would you do if you were this person? Would you cash out this? Let's say before the game tonight. It's kind of unfair because you know the result. Like, would you cash out at 58,000, or if you want to answer, hey, the Oilers won, would you cash out at like 75,000, or would you let it ride and try to win 270,000? What would you do if you were this dude?
I don't have enough money on hand to like come up with any sort of hedging scheme that's going to make it work. You know what I mean? I guess.
Well, I think that you could probably get a line of credit at because this guy's known. They're actually like they're like filming him and stuff like that. He could probably go to a Las Vegas casino and like the I know the Circa does this for the Survivor contest. He could probably get a line of credit and just hedge that way.
Oh, okay. I don't know, man. I'd cash it out.
I would have cashed out 100,000, and I heard that like someone brought up this point on Twitter, and it's like the difference between 100,000 and 270,000 seems like a lot, but it's nothing compared. Like the difference between that and 100,000 and 0 is like I would rather take the 100,000.
Yeah,
and,
me too.
Forget the 270. And like, because, you could win 0 here. I think the Thunder are going to win. I don't know enough about hockey to say like the Oilers are going to win. It feels like a coin flip at this point. So if you can't hedge this, like if you can't get a line of credit, I would cash out at like 75,000. I would have cashed out 100K, but I would have cashed out 58K tonight. I would have cashed out 75K. That's a lot of money, man. And like with cover calls and stuff, and granted, like people don't know about the stuff, and we're going to have an episode on it soon. Like, you can easily take 75K, and within 3 years, 4 years, you could have 270K. Like doing this. So, you'd have to wait a little bit, but you'd eventually have that sort of money, assuming that you didn't spend it on stupid stuff, which, like, obviously this guy could do. So anyway, I would cash. I don't know if you guys listening in the chat would have any opinion on this, but I would just rather take the money and invest it with the cover calls and whatnot. Which, by the way, brings me to something else. Well, before we get to that, do you have anything else to say on this?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, there's no way. I mean, if I didn't take it and then if I let it ride and it didn't win, I'd never forgive myself.
Yeah, me too.
So that's the worst. That would be the worst part. That would be worse than not having an additional 170,000. The fact that I would never ever be able to. I don't think I'd be able to forgive myself for that one. So yeah, I definitely take it.
Yeah, me neither. Sue says before tonight's game, Panthers Thunder parlay was 101. Panthers Pacers plus 294. Oilers Pacers plus 794 on FanDuel. Yeah. So you can parlay all those outcomes and hedge that way. You can do it a few ways. I wonder what Evan Daniel would say, because he's the king of like doing all these bets online and stuff. So I assume Who Hames says he would take the money. I would for sure. And this kind of like goes to this comment here. Patrick says SPY futures down 1.5% because people are talking before. The war is on apparently between with Israel and stuff. So SPY futures down 1.5%. Dare I say buy more GameStop tomorrow? Yeah, look, I mean, if you're waiting to get in on GameStop, like, this is the opportunity. I don't know if you saw what happened with it. So they had their earnings were okay, like nothing spectacular, nothing bad. So Ryan Cohen, he did this the last time they had earnings. The day after, he basically did a it wasn't like a quite like dilution, but he sold some notes and stuff like that, and he raised, I think last time he raised like $1.5 billion, and this time he raised $1.75 billion. So he diluted basically, but GameStop is now up to like 8-point-something billion dollars in cash, and they have 500 million in Bitcoin, and they have no debt. So this is like GameStop dropped from 28 to 21 today, and then it rebounded to 22, which is like pretty, it hurt because I had I sold Cash Secure Plus at 27.50 and 28, so I have to kind of eat that. But I don't really I'm not really concerned because I'd be shocked if it doesn't go up. Last time they did this, the stock plummeted, and within 8 trading days, it went back up to where it was before, even after the dilution. So yeah, exactly. Sue says GameStop down 22% today. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They diluted, people got pissed off, and it really dropped. What happens is because they did this, people sold their calls, because obviously the stocks are not going to go up if they're diluting. So when calls are sold, then the stock's going to drop because the market makers no longer have to hedge for the calls. So whenever people sell options, like, that's what happened. The stock plummets. Like that's exactly what happened today. It wasn't like necessarily people selling. I'm sure some people sold because they're pissed, but like really it was the option selling that dropped the price. So yeah, it dropped to, I think the low today was like 21.50, I believe, which I bought. I bought like some shares today. Let's just say that. And in fact, I have 2 accounts for my kids. I've said that before. I gave them an advance on their birthday money so they could buy GameStop shares today. So they bought some shares at 21.50 today. But yeah, look, like the floor on GameStop, we know it's like $17. They can't go below 17 because that would be below the cash line, all their assets, and if it goes below 17, they could just take it private. So yeah, it's going to rebound. I don't know like it necessarily if it would happen tomorrow or next week, but it will eventually go back up to 30. Like, it's done that every time Ryan Cohen has diluted with this, and it's not bad dilution, because like with AMC, like AMC is known for diluting a lot. Like AMC dilutes to pay their debt, like that, and they have to do it at the bottom because sometimes they just owe a lot of money and they have to pay it off, and they have no other way to do it but dilute. Ryan Cohen is diluting when the stock is going up to get cash reserves for the company so he can make more investments, like Bitcoin, or I don't know. He's probably going to invest in some other companies as well. So he's doing it the right way, and like people didn't like that he did it right now because I mean like diluting is like not great if you're expecting a squeeze, but like this is great for the long term because the company is like pretty close to 10 billion in cash and 500 million in Bitcoin. Like that's amazing. Like right now they're almost at 9 billion total in just in assets. So the company's looking great. Like I know that like it's scary to see something down 22% today, but I think it's a great buying opportunity. I like I said, this is not financial advice. But I bought a lot of GameStop today. Let's just say that. So, LOL Jimmy. I mean, look, you have a company that has almost 9 billion in assets, no debt, and has the CEO who loves the company and takes no salary. Like this is a great investment in my opinion. But like I said, not financial advice. And it's great. And this is financial advice. Sell cover calls, sell cash secure puts on companies you like. And GameStop has super high premiums, which is it's a great company to do that in. Also, Patrick, I remember you saying something before. You were asking for cheaper stocks with good premiums. I remember you must have asked that like 3, 4, 5 months ago or something. I found something today like stock ticker APPS, APPS. Now their earnings are on Monday, so that would explain why the premiums are so high. But like the stock right now is, I believe it's like 504 a share, $5.04, not $504, $5.04 a share. There for a cash record put at 450 dated next Friday, it's like $35, which is like insane. Like that's crazy. I don't know if it's gonna plummet for earnings, but they had a good earnings report last time. So I don't know what to expect. Even if you want to be safer and go to $4, they pay out $15 per contract. So which is fantastic for $4 stock. And like that's like right now that would be like if it drops from 5 to 4, that would be about 20%, which like usually stocks don't drop like more than 20% of the day. Like it's super rare for that to happen. So I think it's pretty safe. And you know what? Like I've thought about it, and I'm like, why not just sell cash secure puts on 20% below the current stock price for any good company that has earnings coming up. And I think I'm going to utilize that and see what happens. And when we do our cover calls show, that's something that I'm definitely going to factor in. But like if you're looking at just individual stocks from all the time, like GameStop, it's so hard to find something better to sell cash secure puts and cover calls because their premiums are so high. People love buying options on GameStop. Like that's something they love doing. And maybe that's not going to be permanent. But like right now, that is the case. Like it is a cult thing, even though it's a good company. So like you can definitely take advantage of that by selling options. Let's see. Kimmy says, "Well, if you like the stock at this level, how about selling puts, which will lower your cost basis?" Yeah, look, I'm doing that. Like I said, I got burned on the when the stock was 33, or whatever it was before earnings. I think it was like 31. Quacky just disappeared. At 31, I sold cash secure puts at 27.50 and 28. And I got burned on this dilution. I really thought about by closing those puts after earnings, and like I almost pulled the trigger. And now I'm kicking myself because like now you could do, like you're right, like you could sell cash secure puts at like $20 or $19 even, and I really don't think it's going to go below that. Like I said, 17 is the floor. But no, I think you're onto something. But like the stock's so cheap that I think it's going to go up. And when the stock is so cheap, I think that's when you buy your shares. I really think that's when you do it. Now, if it goes up to 28.30, I think that's when you sell your puts, like you were saying. Like, it really depends on what the stock price is. And it's close enough to the floor now where I really don't think there's any sort of risk. Like I don't even know what could send it below 17. Like they have all this money in just cash and Bitcoin. And like Bitcoin, the floor on Bitcoin doubles every year. So because of the halving. So like I hope they buy more Bitcoin. I hope that they buy it on a dip. But if they buy more Bitcoin, like the company is just going to be worth so much more money in the future. And like I said, this is good for the long term. 22% down seems ugly, But that's when you buy your stocks like that. It's buy high or buy low, sell high, and it's like almost at a 52-week low right now. I don't think it's quite. I don't know if that's quite the case, but it's pretty close to a 52-week low. So that's, like I said, that's when you do it. And look, like I said, it could go down a little bit more. It wouldn't surprise me if it went down to like 19 or 20, but I think it's more likely to go up in the near future. And like 2 weeks from now, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like 26, 27, 28 again. So that's kind of where I stand on GameStop. I wonder where Tom went. He didn't text me either. Maybe his like internet went out, or maybe he just passed out. It's kind of weird that he just disappeared on us. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna read the comments and then head out. We'll see if Tom comes back on. If you had the T from Walter, it's WTF. Exactly. Okay, cash bet on buy puts on SPY tomorrow. Thanks, Israel. Yeah, that's it's unfortunate you never want to see war and stuff like that. You would think that the market's going to go down, like any military company like Lockheed Martin, they're going to do well. But yeah, it's and didn't really want to see that at all. But yeah, it's going to happen, I guess. Let's see. Israel, what is this? Israel starts Operation Lion Pride Month. I didn't put two and two together. That's pretty good. Pride Month line. It's nice. Game of Thrones spoiler: it's software porn for loser nerds. I don't know, Cassandra. Did you ever like watch it, or do you just never, or did you watch it and not like it? I don't know. I feel like everyone I've shown Game of Thrones to, they've loved it. There's one exception. My former editor Ryan. I watched the first episode with him, and he's like, "Meh." It's like, this is okay. He was like the only one who didn't love it. But if you didn't like it, I would love to know why. Like, I mean, maybe you're just joking, you never saw it, but I would love to know if you liked it or not. Okay, Iran should have made a deal with Trump. Yeah, just Iran would have cheated on the agreement anyway. Yeah, it's probably true. Panthers tied with 90 seconds left. Well, we know who won now. Brent says, I'm in a Rob Zombie music video. That's awesome. Well, which one? When and where? Tell us. That's so cool. Rammstein live concerts are insane. Yeah, I love that song. That we talked about before. Du hast. That's they. When I was I used to live in East Halls when I was at Penn State. Oh, Tom texted me. He's like, hey, sorry, my internet went out. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll finish up by reading comments and then head out. So East Halls. I want to tell the story when Tom's on. It's kind of crazy, but there was an East Halls gym, and they played that sort of music all the time, and that used to always pump me up. I used to love that. Let's see. What else? Let's read the comments. Let's go Oilers. Well, that worked out. So I'm happy for that dude. I hope he cashes out, because I would hate for him to go to zero. And like, who knows? I don't know his financial situation. Maybe he's already rich and doesn't care. Just wants to let it ride. Which is fine. But like, if he sort of needs the money, at least I hope he takes it. Anyway, let's see. Let's keep scrolling down. Cassandra's blood pressure is 1,000/800. My second number is always high. My blood pressure is it's always like 128/90 or 88 or something like that. It's not too bad. I actually it was high once, like a few years ago. It was like 135, 136/92 or something. And I got it. I made sure to drop it. But it was funny. I was hanging out with my friend, and we were just talking. I was like, yeah, I was at the doctor's today. My blood pressure is high. He's like, oh, yeah, my blood pressure is high too. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. And I'm like, he's like, okay. I'm like, well, I'm like 136/92 or 94, whatever I said. And he's like, oh. I'm like, well, what? And he's like, yeah, mine's like 160/100. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think it was gonna be that high. Anyway, since I've posted my blood pressure when I'm sweating a large play, it's rarely above 95 or 60. Wow, that's super low. That's pretty cool. Yeah, eat more salt, buddy, or you die from low blood pressure. Exactly. Maybe that's why you put the salt in the salad. Okay, yeah. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce at the game, which I don't understand why they're at the game. But I guess they're just either Oilers or Panthers fans. When Walt's basketball team lost by 80, did y'all cover? Well, we lost. What was the final score? We lost one game 70-20, and we lost one game 60-10. Which, by the way, we had an 8-6 lead. We lost 60-10. That was we probably did cover the spread because I've told the story before. We were like, there was an A league and a B league at this gym, and we're just normal guys. Like our center was like 6'3". I was playing shooting guard or point guard, if depending on the mental state of our point guard, who was always high or drunk. So if he was on his game, he'd play point guard. If he was feeling it, not wanting to play, I'd play point guard. Anyway, we're just like normal dudes, like whatever. And then in the other league, like in the B league, which we were in, our first year we only won one game, but then like the third year we went like 5-4. Like we're kind of like middle of the pack. But we got shifted to A League one year. The second year we were in this because there were odd numbers in both leagues, and the commissioner said he's like, yeah, I'm going to choose at random and put one team from B into A. And it's like, okay, I hope it's not us. Of course it was us. And A League was like guys who used to play at Temple and Drexel and LaSalle. Like not like superstars, but like either starters or like high bench guys. Yeah, we had to play against them, and like I remember this one team, like I said, our center was 6'3", like their shortest guy was 6'3", like their center was like 6'9", like it was absurd. And so yeah, we were up 8-6. I don't know how, but like we were hitting our shots, and then they just started blocking everything we were shooting. We had no chance, like we couldn't get shots off sometimes. It was awful. And they just kind of like ran us off the court. So we had no chance against those guys. So, like we lost 60-10. So it was pretty horrible. Worst president was Biden. Well, was he really a president though? I mean, he wasn't like there was the auto pen. Like he wasn't really the president. Like people were running the show. He's just kind of like he's checked out. Like he had Alzheimer's. It's kind of reminds me of to go back to Game of Thrones. Tom and Baratheon. If Tom says I'm going to call it though, my internet is going to coming back on. Okay. Anyway, Tom and Baratheon, who's the younger brother of Joffrey. He was in the books. He's like 6 or something, and so he gets named king after. Spoiler alert: Joffrey is whatever. Joffrey's killed off. Anyway, he's named king, and so he's this little kid. Like they have him sign stuff, and he like doesn't want to sign stuff until he gets lemon cakes. So they have to give him lemon cakes, and so that kind of reminds me of Biden because like he's super into ice cream. Imagine him like sir, like please sign this before the auto pen. He's like, sir, please sign this. Like, oh, I don't want to sign this, and like sir, we'll give you ice cream. Like, okay, and they just sign stuff, and then maybe they ran out of ice cream, and like they had to go to auto pen or something. Let's see, Oilers. Yeah, that was the winning goal apparently. So that's tied it too. Let's see, Gray versus Gray. I believe AY is American and EY is English. So we did win the war against the Brits. So it's we should do AY. Language has been changing in a crazy way. Definition of mostly peaceful has changed a lot for some reason. Yeah, exactly. That's definitely one thing. Attain and obtain. Yeah, that's something. That's another thing for sure. Kim McGee says, if anyone told me the pronouns and asked for mine, I'd say my pronouns are "you're a sick son of a bee." Yeah, that's something you can do. Kiev is 7 hours ahead of you each time. Make sure I note of that for the soon-to-be NFL game. Yeah, we should. Goodell needs to get on that. He needs to get on the Ukraine game. Let's see. Keep going down here. This is the boss says this is random. But last season, you said the Cardinals' plan for Benson was to start James Conner last year and start Benson this year. Do you have any update on that according to your source? I have not talked to my source about that. I could ask him, but I don't know if he has if he's privy to what the coaches are going to do. He's pretty privy to what the front office is going to do, but I don't know if he talks to the coaches all that much. But I don't know. I mean, that is interesting. I don't know. Maybe their plans have changed. Maybe they still think Connor has some juice left in him. So I wouldn't read too much into what I said before because things can change all the time. Okay. Okay. You bought some. What did Pelosi do? Well, that you have to follow Unusual Whales for that one. I did tweet out today that they should arrest all politicians who are at insider trading. Enough's enough. They should just do it. Like they're going after that one guy, the Padilla guy today. They arrested the senator. They should just arrest every person in Congress who illegally trades. Just as long as they have the evidence, because like the bad thing is like to arrest them and then you don't have the evidence, and then like you go to trial and then it's thrown out and then you can't do it again. Like you have to have the evidence. But yeah, they should make these arrests for sure. I don't know why they're not. Pelosi mysteriously went to oil stocks today. Is that true? I don't know if you're making a joke or not, but that's if that is true, then it kind of goes with what she usually does. She's America's greatest stock trader after all. Yeah, of course. I mean, look, she's so great at reading charts and stuff. Yeah, she is the master. Okay, if you even spell that, it's trader. Exactly. Okay, yeah. Let's see. I like the stock. I made tons of money off AMC, but I'm also very cynical. Well, I mean, you have to be cynical of AMC. I think they're very poorly run. Adam Aron's a joke of a CEO. He's awful. I'll never invest in AMC. GameStop's different though. Like I said, they have $8 billion in cash. They have $500 million in Bitcoin. They have no debt. They have a CEO who loves the company, and he does not take a salary. He just enjoys the company so much that he's willing to do it for free. He's a billionaire. Look, he's a billionaire. He doesn't need the money. So the fact that he doesn't take any salary, and you compare that to Adam Aron from AMC, who takes like an obscene salary, it's kind of like a no-brainer. You are correct. My bad. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, that's all the comments here. So yeah, Tom's not coming back on, so we'll call it here. So thanks, guys, for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. And yeah, please hit like, subscribe, comment below this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. Ben Wassley is due to join us on Saturday. Things can change all the time. If something comes up. If something comes up, then I'll just do the show by myself. But he is scheduled to be on, so looking forward to talking to him. He has his fantasy rankings posted, so he's going to go over them with us, and we'll get to see what we disagree on, which is always fun. So hopefully he can, I'm sure he's going to give us some great insights and kind of like change my mind on some stuff. And I'm really looking forward to that episode. And then next week we have there's all regular episodes. So yeah, guys, hope you have a great start to your weekend, and I will talk to you on Saturday.